Adjective, liminal. Occupying a position at or on both sides of a boundary or threshold. To be liminal is to be neither here nor there, to constantly shift from one point to the other. To be liminal is to exist in the negative, the blank space of the image, to be formed in and around the jagged, sinewy edges of real, tangible objects, to be born at the crux of disparate identities. I have felt liminal for most of my life. My hair is sometimes black, sometimes brown. I'm told I look more like one part of my ethnic identity than the other, and sometimes I'm told I look like none of them at all. I'm rubbish at making decisions, trying on each choice again and again, and neither fitting fully. I'm paralyzed by this sometimes, the fear of choosing consciously to be one thing over the other. This is how I've always felt about being Muslim. Maybe this isn't my story at all, but in some way I feel like it is. A reoccurring thought I have always had, a part of me, somewhere, somehow, is Muslim. I first felt this way when I was 5. My grandmother, an aging former school principal, reduced by an ailment to tending to the house, was praying in the room adjacent to mine. I would wander by her sometimes, watch her from the arched doorframe as she prostrated herself upon her intricately colored mat, and then so gracefully rose again. I remember little of the details, just that this was a daily reoccurrence whenever she took care of me. This and the beautiful Quran she kept at the top of the bookshelf that she and my grandfather shared. She refused to let me touch it, and instead handed me a pocket-sized version, shoddy from a street vendor, probably somewhere along the old city paths, but a sight to behold nonetheless. I couldn't read a word of it. The language taught to me in school was nothing like it, far less like these intricate lines encircling one another again and again. I didn't know what to do with it, besides run my hands over the letters like I was blind, like I was seeing something my eyes had never been trained to behold. I didn't know how to pray beside her, her palms delicate, folded inward and outward. It was all about repetition, balance. I was a child. I couldn't even sit still. But how I loved observing her, watching her whisper words under her breath, not at all speaking to me. I hope I can someday be as devoted to some discipline as my grandmother was to her faith. My grandmother was not liminal. She was clearly a Muslim. I don't know what I am, but I also find comfort in this liminality, in being a go-between. I'm living between 2 points, and it's here that I found peace.